If you clicked on this video, then it's safe to assume you're looking for ways to exponentially increase your ability to save money and in turn improve your financial life. If so, you're in luck, because in this video I'll show you 9 tricks you can use to save a lot of money. If you're new to the channel, click the button below to subscribe for more content that will change your life. Number 1. Pay cash. In this day and age, when was the last time you bought something with cash? Cash is almost never used, and debit cards are the most common way to pay for things at the store. But whether you pay with a debit card or a credit card, nothing can replace the psychological effect that paying with cash has on your spending habits. There are 3 events. The first is that your brain feels more pain when paying with cash than with debit or credit. Researchers call this feeling of pain when we spend cash coupling. When someone buys an item with cash, they immediately know how much that item cost, which can be painful. But when someone buys something with a credit card, they have some time before they have to pay for it. This makes the price seem less important. Most people spend less and save more because of this feeling alone, but there are 2 other important things to remember about cash. You need to know? People tend to keep things that they think are worth more, which makes it easier for us to spend $1 or $5 bills. It means that spending a $100 bill is much more painful on a psychological level. This makes us want to save the money instead of spending it, which means more savings. The last psychological effect of paying with cash is that you can see how much money you have left. When you pay for something with cash, you can see how much money you have left. But when you pay with plastic, you don't get that same feeling. Because of this, we tend to spend more money when we pay with plastic. So, how much more will it cost you in 2001 if you pay with credit instead of cash? Published the results of a study that looked at how people spend when they use cash or credit. The results showed that when people pay with a credit card instead of cash, they spend up to 100% more. So, if you want to stop spending so much, use this brain hack, cut up your credit cards, and start carrying more cash. Number 2, start a piggy bank. Now, if you're going to pay with cash, you'll need a place to put all that extra money. For this, you can use a piggy bank. You see, I always paid with cash before I got a credit card. But I would leave my loose change in my pocket or around the house, so I never saved up any real money in my piggy bank. Then one day, my dad challenged me to see if I could save enough money over the next year to fill my piggy bank. Then he said that from that point on, he would double it if I could guess how much was in the jar. I deposited every penny I got back from my purchases into that jar, and come the end of the year I had it completely filled. Then the time came for me to guess how much I had saved over the past year. I held up my piggy bank as if I could weigh how much was in there, and I guessed $234. Then, my dad and I went to the bank to have them count the money. The final count was $187. Seeing my disappointment, my dad gave me an extra $100 to deposit into my bank account anyways. But at that point I learned 2 important lessons. I learned that making money into a game can help you make good financial decisions, and that my dad is one of the best people in the world. Third, make the most of the rewards. Now, I know I just talked about the benefits of paying with cash, but I also know that not everyone will be willing to go to the bank and get cash every week or every month for the regular expenses we have. That's why I want to make sure you still save money when you pay with a credit card. Now, it would be nice if everything in life was free, but since we have to spend money to live, you might as well make it worth your while by getting rewards and other bonuses. Nowadays, credit card companies offer very lucrative reward programs in order to entice you to sign up. Most of the time, these rewards come in the form of cashback or points. Most of the time, cash back will be between 1% and 5% of the total of each purchase or statement. And the number of points you get depends on how much you spend and where you shop. I suggest that you shop at stores that give you the most cash back so that you can cut down on your total spending and lessen the psychological impact that routine spending can have. What if you didn't have to work so hard to save money? Then you could spend your time on more important things like your job, your family, or your friends. Well, one way you can do just that is by leveraging the power of automated deductions. In fact, one of the best things I have ever done for my finances was setting up automated deductions for my pay with my employer. In essence, because of these deductions, I was able to put some of my paycheck straight into my savings account instead of putting the whole amount into my checking account. When I first set this up, I put 10% of my income after taxes into my savings account. But I found that I can increase this to 20% and double what I save each month. Now, I think this way of saving money has worked so well for two main reasons. First, it helped me figure out how much money I wanted to save. In fact, if you use automatic deductions, you can set your deduction to the amount you want to save each month and use your budgeting system to make sure you hit your goals. Second, it took the thought of saving off my mind, which allowed me to focus on other important things like improving my skills in order to make more money. Hack number 5. Adding up what was bought. What if I told you there was a way to save your loose change without paying in cash? If you're like me, you hate carrying around change. Thanks to rounding up purchases, you can save money and avoid carrying around change at the same time. If you've never heard of round-up purchasing, here's how it works. First, you need to set this up with your debit card company so that every time you buy something with your debit card, this feature will work. Your card is charged more than what the things you bought are worth. Then, that extra amount will be put into a savings bank account you choose. Here's how this would work in practice. You go to Starbucks and buy your usual latte, which costs $4.35. Your card will be charged $5 instead of $4.35, and the difference of 65 cents will be put into your savings account. Now, this won't save you much money in a single case. However, when done routinely over time, you will begin to accumulate money in a savings account in the same way you would if you were to deposit your loose change into your piggy bank. Hack number 6. Real-time cost analysis. When you want to buy a shiny new item, what that goes through your head with the true value of the item is, or how much joy that new item will bring you. I'd say that for most people, the latter is the answer. However, if you want to save money, you need to think about how much the things you buy are really worth. One thing I used to buy over and over again was new phone. I could only imagine how great it would be to have the newest phone with all of its new features. But, as you might have guessed, the fun I thought I would have was short-lived. To really figure out how much the thing you're buying is worth, you need to figure out how you'll use it. I wanted a new phone for the better camera. However, I rarely took pictures, so the cost I was paying certainly didn't justify the return I was getting. When you start to look at all of your purchases in this way, you'll soon realize that you need to spend much less money than you do now. This is hack number 7, counting the clock. The counting the clock method is the third and final trick you can use to save more money. You are basically figuring out how many hours of work each thing you buy will cost you. For example, if you make $20 an hour at your job, it would take you 5 hours to buy the new $100 t-shirt. Once you perform this calculation, ask yourself if the item you are obtaining is worth the time it took to earn the money to pay for it, or in this example, is that you're really worth 5 hours of work time. When you start to look at your purchases this way, it will change the way you think about the value of not only your money, but also your time. Last tip, the stranger test. You walk into a store and see a shirt that you think would look great on you, while you now know that you should assess how much time you're exchanging for that $50 trillion shirt. You still feel inclined to buy it well before pulling out your wallet and completing the transaction. You should see how you would act around a stranger. If you never heard of the stranger test before, let me explain. Imagine a stranger standing in front of you with a t-shirt in one hand and $50 in the other. Which one would you choose? Most of the time, the cash is more appealing than the item. If you do this often, you'll start to notice that you always choose the cash over the item. This reinforces your decision not to splurge and to keep the money instead. This is hack number 9, internalized saving. Well, all the other hacks are very useful when it comes to saving money. The number one way to dramatically increase your ability to save is to tell yourself you're a saver. You see, using these hacks will help you make better money decisions. But until you tell yourself that you are a saver, you always feel as if the act of saving is going against your own free will. Instead, tell yourself you're a saver. When you do this, your actions will be in line with your core values, which will make you more likely to save money regularly. Once these values are in place, you will be more likely to set money goals that revolve around saving. If you keep working toward these goals, you will not only reach them, but you will also reach your stated savings goal. Hey, it looks that YouTube thinks this next video is the one that will change your financial life forever. Give it a watch and let's see if they're right.